Hey y'all, welcome to the book sale. My name is Dara, and the book sale is just a lane of bookish content. What? Another way for me to share with you guys my love of books, what I'm reading, and all that razzmatazz. So, as the title suggests, it's 2021, where we are in the thick of one of my favorite seasons. I would say it is my favorite season, winter. So, I have for 8 books that I want to read over the course of these 3 months, January to March, and I wanted to share them with you guys. So, this is in no particular order. I'm just going to begin. One of my goals is to start to get into classics. I've already begun purchasing a couple of classic books. And by classics, I mean like those things you see in the Barnes and Noble classic section, such as like Dracula. What else is there? Anything Jane Austen, Charles Dickens, Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer, what's and the list goes on and on. Needless to say, the classic that I'm going to be diving into for the winter is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Mr. Robert Louis Stevenson. I picked this one specifically because it's short. I'm like, why not start off with an appetizer? Yes. The actual story is only 98 pages. And as it says in the title, there's other stories compiled in here as well. Second reason why I wanted to start off with this is because there is a Christian fiction book that I want to read by an author. I believe his name is James Hubert. And the book is titled The Man He Never Was. And it is loosely inspired off of this guy. So I wanted to be able to read this first before I read that guy. So, yes, that is book numero uno. Next, we have a series that I am so hyped to get into, and that is the Enola Holmes series. Enola Holmes in the fiction world is the younger sister to Sherlock Holmes and his brother Mycroft. He's kind of the late in their prime child. I would say she is. She's only 14, while Sherlock and Mycroft are in, their like 30s or something like that. So you can do the math. And I first got introduced to Enola through the Netflix movie with Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things playing Enola, and then Henry Cavill. Is it Canville or Cavill? The guy who plays Superman. He plays Sherlock Holmes in this. And I really liked him as Sherlock Holmes. And I was watching one of my favorite booktubers, Darling Desi, and she put on her reading list Enola Holmes. And I said, skirt, stop the presses. I did not know Enola Holmes was a book series. So now that I got these 3 guys for Christmas, and I actually got an extra one of book 1, and so I'm going to be doing a giveaway for that soon. But as you can see, I'm almost finished book 1, The Case of the Missing Marquis, which is what the Netflix movie is based off of, this one. I love it. I love the way it reads. It just lights up my imagination like a pinball machine, and I'm here for it. I just have the first 3. There are a total of 6 in the series, and they have numbers on the spine, so you can know if you're reading them in the right order or not. So I have The Case of the Missing Marquis, The Case of the Left-Handed Lady. That is book 2. And then book 3 is The Case of the Bizarre Bouquets. And my goal, y'all, so I did damage last year in terms of how much I bought, how much money I spent, and how many books I bought last year. So my goal is to read all of the books that I've already purchased before purchasing any more. And I'm giving myself until June to read as many of the books that I've already purchased as I can. And so hopefully by the summer, I can get into the last 3 of this series and then really rock out with a good like summer mystery, And even though this is considered middle grade, so for ages 8 and up, it's the way it's written, because it's in 19th century England, an adult can definitely like pick up this book and read it. Like, this is definitely a fun read for an adult. Next, we have the next 3 books in the True Colors series. And the True Colors series is a series I used to read in my teenage years that I wanted to revisit in my adult years and to see if anything has changed. Anything, when I mean anything has changed, just to get an adult perspective of this. And I've never actually read through the entire series. I only read a few books from the series, so I'm excited even to engage some of these books for the first time as an adult. And so where we are, we will pick back up in book 4, because I finished off the year reading book 3. And I said I can't pick this up until the new year. That will actually Thanksgiving. And so this one deals with suicide and grief. It's called Pitch Black, Color Me Lost. And I purposefully left this for the new year, because I didn't want to read this over the Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday and New Year's holiday. So, yep, that's book number 4. Then next we have book 5, Burnt Orange, Color Me Wasted. This one has to do with drinking. And I will go on record to say this whole series chronicles the life of a high school girl. So far we've dealt with a sophomore, and two juniors. No, 2 sophomores and a junior. So, yes. This one, I said Burnt Orange, Color Me Wasted. That deals with drinking. Next, we have Fool's Gold, Color Me Consumed. And that deals with materialism. So, my goal is to get through these 3 guys by March. And then last, my nonfiction read is something I'm very excited to get into. It's definitely out of my comfort zone, not only for it being nonfiction, but also the subject matter. And it's Reading While Black by Esau McCaulley. So because of all of the civil unrest that our country has occurred, not more so last year, it really provoked me to establish, and plus the talks that we've had in my church community, as we've been meeting over Zoom weekly, I've really been provoked to establish a biblical worldview for social injustice. It was something that I was honestly running away from because I was too scared to even acknowledge it, but also even having a differing opinion from those that are within your own community in terms of, even though there may be some, even though there may be some popular opinions, even within the African American community, still being set apart from that and establishing a biblical worldview for that. So I've been really challenged to do that, and I'm accepting the challenge, hence this book. It's about 190 pages, or technically 170, because I don't include like the notes or discussion guide, this bonus track. $187 is the official page number of text. So yes, that is my reading list for the winter. I'm very excited to get into it. And yes, so we're going to be starting off with Enola Holmes and finishing that, and we'll see where it takes me. To stay really up to date with what I'm reading, check out my While the Ink Dries podcast, which is wherever your ear takes in podcasts. So I will see you guys in the next video.